Hello, I'm Mike with Alula. For those of you who aren't familiar with Alula, we are the combined companies of Resolution Products and IP Datatel. Both companies were acquired earlier this year by Alula, and ultimately what we're able to do now is come together and come out with a unified solution offering both sensors all the way out to services. We want to be one unified solution and provider for all of your needs. Whether that be your hardware needs for existing systems or new installs with our Connect Plus platform here. So without further ado, I'll just kind of cover some of the existing products that we have in our portfolio as well as our Connect Plus platform. Historically, we've been known for a line of compatible sensors that have been compatible with Interlogic's 2 gig DSC and Honeywell. With those sensors, really, our big focus and our passion was to have higher performing sensors than the manufacturers themselves with industry-leading range and battery life. For example, our micro door window contact, our NanoMax door window contact, is compatible with those particular brands and allows us to get a 5 to 6 year battery life, 1,000-foot open air range, roughly, and that's again open air. But allows us to also offer a 5-year warranty on our sensors as well. Our PIR is industry leading with pet immunity and again compatible with Interlogic's 2 gig DSC and Honeywell. We make a full suite of compatible sensors as well as some new sensors that we've partnered with Optex on, one of them being our wireless 360 motion. This has a great coverage range for 8 and 12-foot ceilings, great battery life, great range. It's not pet immune, however, it is a wireless 360 PIR, very good for commercial applications, and again, made in partnership with Optex. Another contact that or sensor that we've produced with Optex is the outdoor PIR. They've obviously been the industry leader in PIR technology for years and years, and with our wide compatibility transmitter, we were able to outfit our transmitter right inside there and ultimately be able to talk to those systems existing in the home today, Interlogic's 2 gig DSC or Honeywell. Besides the compatible sensor products, we've also produced a line of universal wireless translators. For those of you who aren't familiar with the wireless translators, I can imagine that's quite small. However, the wireless translators allow you to reuse existing wireless sensors in the home and convert them over to whatever the system you're installing today is. One example of that would be if you were in 2 gig dealer and you were walking to a home with wireless Interlogic sensors pre-existing in the home, you'd be able to reuse those wireless Interlogic sensors, convert them over to a 2 gig frequency, and send that onto the panel itself, into the panel receiver. Very easily configurable with 2 dials for the panel that you're installing and then the type of sensor that's in the home. Outside of that, another universal product that we've produced over the years is a universal communicator that works with the Honeywell Series Vistas, a number of the Honeywell panels, DSC panels, CADX panels, and NX panels as well. Very easy to use and very easy to install, much like our sensors, where you can use contact ID and use the key switch to connect to the panel, and then use that for alarm transmissions and give your customers a basic keypad to use. With all of those products behind us, ultimately what we were able to do was come together and provide a panel that we feel that most dealers in the market can utilize today. We have a natural hub-based architecture. It is an IP-based design with an IP port built into every panel. So you can utilize the IP connectivity first and foremost. And again, what we did was we went with a natural design that would fit in the home, much like an internet router, and be able to be placed anywhere. The real focus was for this to be an easy install, so we don't have the similar issues of other systems out there where we're having to run power for a system where power maybe isn't right inside the front door. Burglars look for alarm systems right inside the front door. So we were able to remove the front user interface and really focus on a different architecture inside, and ultimately allows us to have a very easy install solution when we can plug in Ethernet plug-in power, stick up the sensors around the home, and get out in roughly 30 minutes or less. Inside the system here, we do have a modular architecture. What we wanted to do was design the system with a modular architecture. That allows us to utilize different technologies and be selective with those technologies that we integrate into the system. Perhaps we want to go with Ethernet as our baseline package. We start off at Ethernet here, but we want to offer a dual path connectivity. We can integrate a cell card rather easily by just snapping it in, upgrading their service plan, and now we can utilize a dual path connectivity across the system. And again, consider each one of these slots as an optional technology. None of these are required. You can get all of your interactive commands and alarm transmissions over the IP connectivity. However, for those that are concerned about power loss or IP loss, again, we do offer that dual path connectivity option as well. Second slot here can be used for Wi-Fi connectivity to not only the central station and interactive commands. Perhaps we don't want to use the IP connectivity, but we want to use a Wi-Fi communicator. We certainly can do that. However, I usually like to say that the IP connectivity is the best way to go, because once we add that Wi-Fi card, we're adding unnecessary hardware costs where we could utilize the existing hardware connection on the system itself. Currently I have installed is a Wi-Fi, it's our device link card for our touchpad. We have a optional touchscreen touchpad here that has a Wi-Fi connectivity to the system, and the card that we have installed allows that dedicated Wi-Fi network without having to rely on the customer's network. That allows us to have very fast instant connections without having to worry about passwords changing. The device link card inside of the Connect Plus platform here does support 4 additional touchscreens as well. So you can have up to 4 touchpads on one system, and really allows you to utilize a couple different touchpads if you'd like. Obviously, with the user interface removed from the front of the system, we are relying very heavily on the smartphone and then our keypads as backup options. You know, customers today are using their smartphones for more and more. They're adopting the smartphone apps for controlling their home, controlling their security, and obviously there's some major players out there today that have come through as really innovators in the industry, specifically by offering a smartphone app. So when we focused on the Connect Plus, we wanted to adopt our own Alula platform and Alula app for our Connect Plus platform and allow us to have a direct instant connection. So what we see when we control the software and the hardware, we can build them together, and we can really utilize all of the capabilities of the Connect Plus right on our smartphone app. The Alula security app is available on the App Store, and really when you use the system and use the Alula app, you'll see the speed and connectivity that we've built in using our IP-to-IP connections. Slot 3 here, we do have a couple different options. Slot 3 really allows us to leverage Z-Wave technology if we want to offer home automation and scene support, but also our translator option as well. I mentioned that we have the option to, or a product that can reuse wireless sensors in the home and convert it over to maybe a 2 gig system. However, for our own solution, we can simply snap in a wireless card that's pre-existing and snap that right in, program that in the wireless programming options, and now we can reuse those wireless sensors that are in the home. We do have 96 available zones on the system, 50 possible users. So perhaps we're reusing 30 sensors from the previous existing system wirelessly, right from our card that's installed into the system itself. And then we still have 66 available zones that we can use and use our Connect Plus compatible encrypted sensors. Again, the modular architecture was really designed not only to allow you flexibility in which technologies you want to offer, but it really keeps costs low when you don't include, maybe your customer doesn't want Z-Wave. Maybe you don't need dual path connectivity because there is a reliable Ethernet connection. It really helps allow for a scalable solution for maybe those renter programs or renter homes where they don't want a very expensive system. They aren't going to be doing Z-Wave today, and down the road when they grow into a house, they want to be able to add those new technologies, or now they want to get into the connected home experience. You can simply snap that card in, and now they have those new features. So this the system is scalable for different market segments as well as upgradable. So down the line, if the new technology comes out and we want to leverage that technology, we'll simply send out an update over the air and then create a new card which you can snap in and offer your customers that new technology. So with the updates over the air, we can continue to keep this system current, continue to upgrade it, and we don't have to redesign the panel every time a new technology comes out. We can simply create the card, create the firmware, and send it all out over the air, and then have you snap in the card to utilize that technology. Similarly with the touchpad can be updated over the air with that direct Wi-Fi connection between the tablet and the panel itself. When the Connect Plus receives an update for the touchpad, it'll simply push out that touchpad update to the touchpad, and then you'll have new features and functionality on the touchpad as well. You have a 24-hour UL listed battery backup, 90 decibel siren. We do have Bluetooth radio, and that allows us to utilize a couple different options with a Bluetooth siren, which is extremely loud and in a low-cost, effective solution, as well as our installer app. The Connect Plus installer app will connect via Bluetooth to the system. That allows you to have your smartphone as your programming tool. No longer are we utilizing the user interface on the front, which doesn't exist. We're utilizing our smartphone as well, and that gives us a direct connection and instant capability for programming. For those situations where you're using the translator card, it allows you to go reuse and take over those sensors and easily program them right on the touchscreen on your smartphone, as opposed to sitting at the panel and having to program each sensor as it comes in. You can just pull down on your touchscreen and program it from there. We also designed the user interface off the system for range. Range is a huge thing and a big hurdle for those that are looking at wireless systems, because traditionally in the industry, the wireless technology and wireless capabilities of those all-in-one systems has been limited because we're packing the touchscreen on top. So ultimately what we did was, with the removal of that, we're able to spread out our antenna and get a quarter-mile open-air range on the system. That ultimately allows you to cover medium to large homes, and with sensors performing at 800 to 1,000 foot open-air range, roughly, obviously that's perfect conditions, really allows you to approach multiple market segments again, not only with the renter program for basic security, but also up to those larger homes that want fully featured home automation systems as well. Again, one of the great things that you're getting with the Connect Plus platform is encryption. You're getting encryption on not only our sensors, each one of our sensors does have an encrypted protocol to the panel itself, and the receiver is an encrypted protocol, but also our cloud services and our communications to the central stations and our interactive platform. End-to-end encryption on both sides of there. We take security very seriously, not only from the hardware that you're installing, but also the network that you're using. And with that, again, keep in mind a modular architecture, hub-based design with an IP communication path to start, leveraging new technologies, able to be upgraded over the air, and a full-featured professional security system that can either be installed professionally or shipped out to the customer and utilized in the DIY market. Thanks for joining me today, and if you have any other questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us or check us out at alula.net.